For example, if I'm leading you through like a very like gentle class, and it's nice and slow, you can always like deepen the posture to make it more difficult, or to find like that edge. Like the amount of effort that we put in so many things in life, it has to be 100% to work. But with yoga, you can just decide, like, I'm gonna give 60%, I'm gonna give 80%. Sheila's here.
Morning.
And that's totally fine. Like, you just set your intention and just, especially if you're somebody who's used to putting in 100% all of the time in everything that you do, you're welcome to bring that energy onto the yoga mat, into the yoga practice. But there's some value in taking a step back and holding back a little bit and just seeing what that's like. Like, what would 75 minutes, or 60 minutes of our movement practice really look like at the end if you just gave 80%. I was definitely a kid in school who gave, I was like a super nerd, like 110%, and I tried really hard, and I would be devastated if I got a question wrong, and completely shut down if I had to answer a question out loud, like in elementary school. Once I learned English, and teachers would call on me, I never wanted to answer, because I just assumed that, I just felt like if it was wrong, like it would be the end of, it would like invalidate my existence. And we carry those things with us until we actively decide to let them go. And as much as I love writing things on paper and burning it, it takes more than just that to let things go often, especially if they're deeply ingrained habits or beliefs about, if you're not trying your hardest, then like you're ungrateful for the life you were given. That's a common belief. Or like just not being good enough. So I'm just wanting to open that floor and say, like, during class today, during class always, you just give the amount of effort that you want to give and experiment and see how that works for you. My vibe is that Floyd. Oh. Okay. We're getting a coroner's report from fentanyl OD. Okay. So we're gonna practice yoga today. You're welcome to join. But yeah, just kind of worrying about ourselves, and I like publicly promised not to talk about politics in class today, specifically. I'm not gonna go there, but everybody has their own opinions. So we're gonna get started in just about a minute now. Oh, I love having a great It's like 40 degrees out. Yeah, you look.
East Coast.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get started in just less than a minute here. All you need for class is a mat. You could also use, I don't have a mat. I'm gonna make you one, but I don't know how. Hey Pat, can you teach me how to make Shiho a mod?
Yeah. Click on her name in chat.
Sure.
And chat identity.
Aaron, I know how to do it. but it's okay. I mean,
Hi, friends. So, how are you all today? Hope you're doing great.
this is Daydream.
Mod, here's your name. Just click on the button. That's it.
Sweet. You
That
are
button.
now a mod. And also,
Sorry. I'm gonna unmod Shiho.
you just upgraded her.
Yeah, so that you can do it. It is not my duty to knight people in your chat. Okay, I don't want to take that. It feels so good.
Okay, I did it. I did the thing.
Sweet.
She says hi.
Hi.
Okay. Don't get hung up. I don't get hung up on chat, honestly. I know it like comes up here. I think I can turn that off actually. So that it's not like on the page. Yeah, let's do that moving forward. It'll just be on the side. Cool. Okay. So as always, we're going to start with a grounding situation, a grounding meditation, just to kind of arrive in the space and see where we're at, each individually. Then we'll work through a 60-minute movement practice. As always, everything that I lead you through there is just an invitation. Don't feel like it's a dance routine. Go at your own pace. Do what's right for your body. The idea is to get off the mat feeling better than you did stepping onto it. And working, and then full Savasana, nice long Savasana at the end. Reset and recenter, okay? All right, let's give this a pause. The music wasn't too loud, right? Yeah, you could hear me. I assume you guys would have told me if you couldn't. So just gonna find a comfortable seated position. If you're in a chair, that's just fine. If you're on the floor, you can sit cross-legged. Sitting cross-legged brings any pain to your lower back or pressure. Just sit up maybe on a block or a folded blanket. And to get your hips higher than your knees. We'll just start with 3 cleansing breaths. Your eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, just lower your eyes to a soft gaze, away from any screens, just onto the floor. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and exhaling, it's an audible sigh, shoulders drop away. And just letting the breath continue back to normal. In and out through the nose if that's available. And we'll just take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And become present to yourself here in this space. Beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. Perhaps passing traffic or an airplane going by overhead. Sound of morning birds or passing neighbors. Allowing all sounds in all part of this moment. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes, like an X-ray machine scanning for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. And just taking note to work into those spaces as we move throughout our practice today. Notice energetically where you're at. Prano Maya Kosha. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready for bed. 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. And moving the attention up to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and any space in between. Notice how even just bringing attention to the breath naturally deepens it, even without effort. And shifting that awareness up to the mind, Mano Maya Kosha, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise. And without interacting with them, observe them from a distance, like clouds passing in the sky. And just notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they holding on to something in the past or predicting the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. And we'll bring that attention back down to the breath. This time, actively expanding our breath, making it longer and deeper. And just let those, anytime the mind goes off on a train of thought, it's not wrong or bad, just an opportunity to practice bringing the attention back down to the breath. You might even internally repeat to yourself, inhale, exhale, as your own personal silent mantra. And filling the belly like a balloon on the inhale, letting the belly expand inflate. And exhaling, belly button draws in towards spine as we deflate and exhale. Inhales, fill belly, and the rib cage expands out to the sides. Exhale, ribs and belly exhale. Inhale, fills belly. Ribs expand on, chest rises, filling air up to the collarbones. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Continue at your own breath's pace, this 3-part breath, Dirga Pranayam, filling from bottom all the way to top. Exhaling from top all the way to bottom. Leave space between top and bottom teeth, jaw hangs heavy. Learning to concentrate without furrowing the eyebrows, the whole face is relaxed. And on your next exhale, this next round of deep belly breathing, just relax any effort, release any effort from the breath, returning to a normal breath's pace, natural breath's pace. Just taking a moment to notice any shifts or changes in that natural breath from our first check-in. And from the space of peace, let's bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers, and thumbs press into the sternum, heart center. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication. It might be that true heart's desire, that sankalpa that we spoke about on New Year's, one of the first classes. You might choose the same intention for the whole week or the whole month, the whole year. Something new might be inspiring you today. And we'll seal that intention with the sacred sound of Om. And we'll take a cleansing breath to begin. Release the hands down to the lap, chin drops towards chest. And on an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And left ear rolls over towards left shoulder. So allowing the head to roll side to side. Good morning, Kai. Good morning, Blaze Bunny. So the sound of Om, here we're just kind of allowing the space to open between the neck and the shoulders. So Om is believed to be a seed sound, a creation, the sound that created the universe, if you will. So with that creation energy, it makes sense to bring it in, to call out our intentions, and send them out. For any law of attraction, or God, or saint, or deity you might believe in, energy. Bring the head back through the center, up to neutral, and begin to roll the shoulders forward. And you know, if you don't believe in anything like that, it's all good. You really probably get to believe in yourself. And that's pretty powerful. I think it's probably a combination. If I'm going to talk about what I believe. Nothing happens without asking, and nothing happens without acting. So it's kind of an opportunity. Let's roll the shoulders back. It's an opportunity there to be humble, vulnerable, ask for help, be powerful, action-oriented, and make things happen for ourselves. Even if your intention is something like to be more loving or more patient, just drop the more. Say, I'm loving, I'm patient. Expect to be tested. And every test is an opportunity to live into that loving, patient person. Kind of stillness in the shoulders. I'm going to work on neck mobility. So I'm just turning to the side. You don't have to turn to the side, just so that I think you can see better here. We worked on this on Tuesday, I believe. So seated up nice and tall, chest over hips. Whether you're in a chair or on the floor, this will work. Chin tucks towards chest. And then rolling forwards like you're making a big circle with the nose. I'm going as far as I can forward. I can't go any farther forward. Bring the head up at the edge of my mobility and reach. It goes all the way back. And then I tuck the chin back down. So I'm imagining that my nose is drawing this big circle, the biggest circumference I can get, without getting the rest of my back involved, right? I'm not leaning forward or back. Shoulders stay where they are, head moves on its own. So we're working to smooth this movement out. A good friend of mine who's in the functional movement and primal movement sect of fitness, if you will, taught me this, and it made a huge difference in my back pain and headaches. It made a huge difference. I mean, it helped relieve a bunch of pain, alleviate a bunch of those migraine symptoms. Okay, now we're going to reverse the motion and basically send the head back and all the way up. Forward, 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 forward. Can't go anymore. Forward, now going down. It's almost like I'm scooping with my chin. So that was just my experience when it comes to this helping with migraines and headaches, shoulder pain, like upper back pain. But I will say, regardless of if that's your experience, this will help you build a more cohesive relationship with your cervical spine, all the muscles in your head and neck. And the more awareness we have of a body part's functionality and movement, the less likely we are to injure it. Just got two more like this. Bring it back to center. Alright, let's just undo that a little, not undo that a little bit, but just left and right, left and right. Back to center, drop the head left, drop the head right. Nice. Alright, inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Reaching tall, long out of the waist. Exhale, right hand releases down, left arm reaches over. Inhale up through center. And exhale over to the left. Following the breath here. Once more to either side, so we're just allowing the speed of our bodies to be informed by the length of your breath. So your breath might be longer than mine, you're moving slower, it's all good. Your breath might be faster than mine, you're moving quicker, that's fine. We're meeting up and centered, and you can just do more repetitions at a quicker pace. Exhaling to the right, left hand lands on top of the knee, right hand lands on the ground, opening the chest towards the side wall. We're aiming towards going, inhale up through center, and exhale left. We're aiming towards breathing as slowly as possible, as deeply as possible. Following the breath, in to rise, and out to twist. In to rise, out to twist. And once more to each side. Meet back up in center. Bend at the elbows, hands are at the ears, wave. Warming up the wrists. And play piano. Carry pizzas. So we're reaching the fingers as far back as we can, and then shake off water. 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs out in front. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. Change directions. Just waking up the lower legs here. And bend in the knees, feet come flat onto the ground. And just drop the knees side to side. Allowing enough space between the feet that the knees have space to land down on the ground. Nice, and we'll drop the knees over to the right, hands come down in front for a tabletop pose. It's really dark. I need like a white yoga mat, I think, or white pants. That's a little bit better. Alright, fingers are spread wide, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. On the inhale, cow pose, belly drops, hips and chest rise. Exhale, rounding in the spine. Chin tucks towards chest, cat pose. Inhale through cow. Exhale through cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. We'll begin to lift the knees up off the ground. So it can be a little bit of that. I'm kind of going a little bit more, exaggerating the pose just to show you. And then knees touch down through cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Rounding in the spine, knees lift. I'm stretching the tops of the feet. Don't let the ankles splay out to the sides. You don't want to roll out the ankles. And we just got one more like this. Pressing into the feet. We're holding it here for 2 deep breaths. Pressing the ground away, keeping the spine rounded, keeping the knees lifted, stretching the tops of the feet. And gently release the knees down. Let the ankles. Right leg gets sent up and back behind you. Foot flex, so it's like the foot's pressing against the wall behind you. Left arm sweeps forward. Extended tabletop pose. Stay long in the spine so the head is in alignment with the rest of the spine. Not looking up like cow pose. Just straight here. Long line of energy. Reaching through the left fingertips, pressing through the right foot. Just finding the deep balance here. Deep breath in, reaching long. Exhale, rounding in the spine, like through cat pose. Lift the belly out of the way, elbow comes towards knee, knee comes towards elbow. Inhale, extend nice and long. Exhale, curl it in. Elbow towards knee. Once more, extend long. Exhale, curl it in. Elbow towards knee, knee towards elbow. And we extend towards each wall, nice and slow, like moving through honey. Bend in the right knee. Left arm reaches back. Maybe it grabs hold of the foot. If you have that grip, kick the foot into the hand, opening the chest towards the left side wall. So I'm kicking the foot away and twisting the chest open towards the side wall. Full breath here. I'm going to release nice and slow, not like a slingshot, like pressing rewind. Arm goes forward, leg goes back. Hand touches down, knee touches down. Nice, so the release just as important as the entrance, if you will. Left leg reaches up and back behind you. Roll the ankle a little bit. And foot flexes as if it's pressing against the back wall for stability. Right arm sweeps forward. Extended tabletop pose. Left fingertips are spread wide. I'm pressing into that arm, not sinking into the shoulder. Deep breath in for length. And exhale, curl it in like cat pose, lifting the belly out of the way. Elbow towards knee, knee towards elbow. Inhale, extending long. Exhale, curl it in, rounding in the spine. We've got one more like that. Like moving through honey, nice and slow, nice and controlled. No rush to get anywhere. Lifting, touching elbow towards knee, knee towards elbow. And we reach back towards extended tabletop pose. Bend in the left knee, foot comes in towards glutes. Right arm reaches back, grabbing towards the foot. Kick the foot into the hand with a nice deep grip to open that right shoulder back, opening the chest towards the side wall. So twisted in the spine, open in the chest. And it's that kick of the foot into the hand, that tension that holds the pose still. So the harder you kick, the more stable in the pose you actually are. Deep breath here. And we're releasing nice and slow with control. Arm reaches forward, leg reaches back, extended tabletop pose. Right hand touches down, left knee touches down. Nice. We'll take a moment here. You can take a sip of water. Warming up a little bit. Are you guys? That's good. So, from here we're going to meet at the top of the mat. So, right foot steps up between the hands, left foot steps up. Let's find some space between the feet, even more than hips distance. You can do like almost mat's distance apart. There we go. A little bend in the knees. You can straighten one knee out and then the other. Waking up the legs, the backs of the legs. We're kind of waking up the front of the legs already with that last twisted pose. And here, grab opposite elbows. Coming into our ragdoll hold. Head is heavy. You can give the head a nod yes. Give it a shake no. Give the whole body a sway side to side. Really no wrong answers here in ragdoll. You're really just kind of exploring some looseness in this forward fold that might naturally feel tight to you in the beginning. It's totally normal, especially if you just woke up, all you West Coast peeps. And no shade, if you just woke up on the East Coast, I get it. I spent all of December waking up at like 11 a.m., 12 o'clock, noon. It's all good. You made it here. You win. Alright, let's give it another second. And we're releasing the hands from that frame grip. Bend in the knees, heel toe the feet together. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the heels so that our ankles aren't knocking together. Then inhale to a halfway lift. Hands come onto the shins like you're making the number 7 with the body. And so my tailbone is reaching towards the back wall, just like extended tabletop. And the crown of my head is reaching towards the front wall. So I'm elongating the spine. Deep breath in here. Exhale, forward fold. And bring a little bend to the knees as we roll up one vertebra at a time. Just let your arms be soft. It's like a half Jefferson curl, if you're familiar with that. Just basically means one vertebra at a time. We're strengthening the back muscles here gently. Arms sweep up when you get there. Eyes follow fingertips. And exhale, forward fold. Now bring my hands down through heart center. It's less pressure on the lower back. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Right foot takes a giant step back. And gently release the right knee down to the ground. If your knee gives you, doesn't feel so hot here, you can put a towel underneath. If even a towel doesn't work, you know your body better than me. You can keep this knee lifted into like a high lunge instead of a low lunge. Right? Untuck the toes. I'm pressing the shoelace part of my foot into the ground so hard that my knee lifts, and then just like let it go a little bit. So my knee's staying in contact with the ground, but the top of my foot's actually actively pressing into the earth. Left knee over left ankle. Let's press it up to our low lunge, bringing shoulders over hips. If this is wobbly for you, use your left knee for stability to press your way up. And here, you can press the hips back a bit, almost like a marriage proposal pose, and then send the hips forward. Pressing up and forward. If your right knee is off the ground, right, your right knee foot is tucked under, you can still play with this, pressing the hips down and forward, and coming out of it a bit. So we're finding a space in between deepest stretch. We're leaning, pressing into this hip joint, and if you're at 90 degrees here, then you're more in a stability pose, but you're not getting much of a stretch in this right hip. Good morning, Mango. Welcome in, my love. Send the knee a little bit further back if you're finding trouble getting that stretch in the front hip, the front right thigh. I'm really opening the quadriceps today. So we found that middle place. It's not all the way down, it's not all the way up, but there's a stretch. There's activation of the back foot pressing into the ground. Shoulders are over the hips. Notice if you're leaning forward, bring the shoulders back. Arms come up overhead, nice and slow. And exhale, the shoulders melt away from the ears. So you might bring a little bend to the elbows. If that's a non-issue for you, keep them straight. Keep the biceps back behind the ears. Deep breath in here, reaching through the fingertips. And exhale, high twist to the left. Left arm opens up behind you. Right arm reaches forward like the letter T. Inhale up through center. Same side, exhale, twist left. Naturally, you're going to want to go right, but we're going left. It's less comfortable. It's on purpose, I promise. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale, twist left. Back up through center. And exhale, both hands land on the inside of the left foot. Right toes tuck under. Lift the knee up off the ground if you haven't been there already. And drop the right heel down to the ground. If I were to draw a line from the front heel back, it would intersect with the arch, the middle of the arch of my back foot. And that wasn't so. So I'm just adjusting my foot back. It's all good. Anytime I send you an adjustment, doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It's just an opportunity to get more in alignment with your own body. From here, my left hand stays on the ground. I'm pressing my arm into the knee's pressing into my arm. I'm building tension to help hold the posture. The right arm reaches up towards the sky. So my arms are like the letter T. Extended side angle. We played with this yesterday, so just a different way to get into it. Now pressing strong into that front left foot, press it up to warrior two. Shoulders come up over hips. Left knee stays over left ankle. Relax the shoulders away. Gaze over front fingertips. Inhale, left arm reaches up, side bend. Reverse warrior. And exhale, cartwheel the arms back down to the ground, framing the front foot, rolling onto the toe ball mound of the right foot. Left foot steps back, plank pose. Nice. Left hand comes to the middle, just below your nose. And we're rolling onto the pinky side edge of the left foot. Right arm opens up, like the letter T. So we're working on this shape, basically. This is called side plank. So hips are pressing up towards the ceiling, just for a little lift. My fingertips on the bottom are spread super wide. I'm pressing my fingertip pads into the ground like almost like you'd hold a basketball. Somebody told me this, I don't play basketball. To take the pressure out of the wrist. Another deep breath in. Exhale, right hand touches down. Plank pose. Whew, nice. So, deep breath in here. Exhale, we're lowering down halfway. Elbows scrape against the rib cage. Coming down to 90 degrees and no further. Flip the tops of the feet and then press the chest forward for our upward facing dog. Now the tops of my feet are into the ground so hard that they really are lifted, not touching the earth. If that's too much of a back bend right now for you, no worries. Coming down, pressing the hips into the ground, squeezing the glutes. Keep the elbows bent here for Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Either where you're at, another full breath here. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hips press up high. Rolling over the feet or stepping over one foot at a time. We found our downward facing dog. First downward dog of class, maybe of the day. So here we'll walk out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. And the hips kind of sway side to side, fingers are spread wide. Head nods yes. Shake no. And then finding stillness in this pose. Chest is heavy, head is heavy. eyes are open between the toes or between the knees. Deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. I'm sending the backs of my knees back towards the wall behind me, working towards straightening out my legs. Hips are pressed up towards where the back wall meets the ceiling. So it's like that Donald Duck butt we were talking about yesterday. We're working towards that here, letting the chest be heavy, letting the head heavy fall down past the arms. This pose can be incredibly challenging in the beginning. Heels are pressing down towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they touch or not. They may never touch. It's okay. That's just the direction of the legs. But eventually, this pose does feel like rest. It kind of feels like home. Right leg reaches up and back behind you towards the wall. Exhaling, knee in towards nose. Roll onto the tiptoes of the left foot. Rounding in the spine like cat pose is called tiger. Shoulders come up over the wrists. Then right foot steps up between the hands. Nice. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, hands touch down to the ground. Left foot steps up to meet right. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands down to heart center and prayer pose. Beautiful, beautiful. Full breath here. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Eyes follow fingertips, head tilts back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Left foot takes a giant step back. So if the giant step back is an issue for you, just bend in the right knee a lot to make that go a little smoother. Option here to gently release the left knee down to the ground. Untuck the toes. One knee might feel different than the other. You know we'll be here for a couple of movements because of the other side, so you can place that towel underneath or fold a blanket underneath the left knee if necessary. And then we're coming up to Anjaneyasana, a little lunge. Hands come down onto the hips. Right knee over right ankle. And we're stepping a bit out of it, almost marriage proposal pose. And then leaning into it, pressing the hips to their edge. Where like you're almost hanging on your joints, right? Which we want to avoid staying in that position. So we're not even taking a full breath there. We're just finding where that edge is. And then backing off. All nice and slow. So as we press ourselves into these shapes and edges, we're signaling to the body to send synovial fluid there, like lubricating agent to those edges of the joints. That's why it's important to move through them, even if we don't want to hang out at the very edge, because we don't want to overstretch, we don't want to pull anything. We still want to visit, if even just quickly and mindfully, so that we can keep that access to that full range of motion and then work up our strength so that we can spend more time there safely and purposefully. So we're finding that in the middle area, that's not all the way down to the deepest, that's not all the way out with no stretch at all. I feel a stretch on the front left quadricep and the front left hip. Top of my back foot's pressing into the ground nice and strong, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. Another deep breath in. And high twist to the right. Right arm sweeps back, left arm sweeping forward. Inhale, up through center. Same side, twist right. Inhale, front and center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands release to the inside of the right foot. Tuck the left toes under, and then drop the heel back and down so that the toes are facing the long side of the mat. Front heel, if I were to draw a line back, intersects the center of the arch of my left foot. Right arm's pressing into the right knee's pressing back, squeezing, creating tension. Left arm opens up towards the ceiling, extended side angle pose. Nice, you got a full breath here. And then pressing into the right leg nice and strong, come up to warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Shoulders over hips, right knee over right ankle, pressing into the pinky side edge of the left foot, and arms come parallel to the ground like the letter T. Gazing over this front right hand, we inhale, reverse warrior. Arm sweeps up towards the sky, opening whole right side body, keeping the bend in the right knee. And exhale, cartwheel the arms down to the ground, framing the right foot. Pivoting onto the left toes. Right foot steps back to meet left foot, plank pose. Nice full breath here. And exhale, chaturanga, lowering halfway. So we don't go past 90 degrees, so we don't mess up the shoulders or the elbows. It's also a little bit harder to stay here in this center position than it would be to go all the way down. So we flip to the tops of the feet, pull the shoulders back, press the chest forward, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground so hard that the knees stay lifted. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. And we've just got a full breath here. And tops of the feet flip, hips pike up, downward facing dog. Finding the spacing that works for you, heels are pressing down towards the ground, fingers are spread wide, eyes are open towards the heels or the knees, in between. Deep breath in through the nose, lift up the heels onto tiptoes. Exhaling audibly through the mouth, heels drop down. Once more like that. Nice. Left leg sweeps up and back behind you. Three-legged dog. Exhale, tiger pose. Knee in towards nose, rounding the spine, shoulders come up over the wrist. Left foot steps up between the hands. Lifting it up to a high lunge, arms sweep up overhead, nice and slow with control. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the ground. Right foot steps up to meet left foot. Inhale into a halfway lift. Big toes touch, a little space between the ankles. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Just take a moment here. Just feeling what was created. Your heart rate's kind of increased. A little warmth in the body. A little cold here today. It's like in the 40s. I'm grabbing a sip of water. Thought we'd build up a little fire energy here. Pokemaster vibe check. Yeah. You know, just resetting all those yoga vibes. Alright. So, next is our balance pose. We're going to play with something new today. Or at least new for the stream. Today's our 11th class together, guys. 11! So, yeah, I think it is time. So, first things first, we're going to find a drishti, a focal point. Something that's not moving, so it's probably not me on the stream. Although, of course, I suppose you'll have to watch for a demonstration in the first place. However, when you are going to hold into this posture, you're going to want to choose a spot on the floor or the wall in front of you that does not move. So it's okay if you're facing the screen. I'm just going to face the side so that you can get a better idea of what it all looks like. Arms sweep up overhead on the inhale. You can do this along with me. It's okay. You don't have to watch it the first time. And just trust that your body will know where it's headed. Right elbow bends. Like I'm holding a little coin purse out to the side. And then right heel comes in towards the glute. Just like we did in our extended tabletop pose. I'm going to reach back like for a quad stretch, but the inside of my palm is going to the inside of the foot. So at no point am I turning my wrist. Then bring the knees into alignment with one another, so my knees are squeezing in towards center. I have the grip. I have my knees into the center line. I take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, hinge on the left hip. Left leg is staying straight. I'm reaching forward with the left hand. And then I begin to kick the foot into the hand. Just like we practiced before in our tabletop pose, the harder you kick into the hand, the more stable the posture. So my chest is being pulled open by the leg, and that's okay. Counteracting that by reaching with my left fingertips. So I'm kicking hard, hard, hard. This is also called standing bow pose, because it's like you're pulling an arrow back on a bow. Like that's the amount of tension in your arms right now. If you fall out, just begin again. Gripping the foot, knees come into alignment, reaching or tilting, kicking, 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 and we're gonna release just the way we went in. Bending in the knee, it all comes back in through center, release the arms, deep breath in, let it go. One more audible sigh like that. Reconnect with your drishti, your focal point. If you're already at the point where like, I've given up, I'm not even gonna try, reconnect with that intention, that dedication. Are you doing this practice for somebody besides you, for an idea bigger than you, for patience, for kindness, for presence, for challenge, for strength? What is that? And I bet that this will actually, it's gonna feel like a test. And the only way to fail is to not try at all. So we'll inhale, arm sweep up overhead. Right arm stays up, left arm bends, palm up towards the sky. Bring the weight into the right leg, left knee bends, foot comes in towards the glute. Reach the hand back to grab onto the foot. And then pull the knees in towards one another, in towards center line. Deep breath in. Eyes cemented to that drishti, to that focal point, like don't even blink. Hinge forward, reaching with your right fingertips for that drishti, that focal point ahead of you, and then kick the left foot simultaneously into the hand. Grip so strong, so strong. Just pulling the chest open, pulling the left arm back. Try to feel a nice stretch on that left shoulder. Keep the kick going. The resistance here, the tension, is what makes this pose possible. Reaching with my right fingertips and kicking with my left foot. I'm allowing my right foot to adjust and readjust. It doesn't have to be perfectly still. Breathing fully, putting forth the effort, resetting. There's as much value in coming into the pose and out of the pose as there is maintaining it. It's all part of the recipe, of the equation. And we return in reverse. Back up towards center, the knee bends. Release the foot, not slingshotting. Just gently releasing that down. Take a deep breath in. Side out. I think you know where this is headed. We're going to begin to just shake off all that tension and frustration with our lymphatic shake. Just start bringing a bounce to the body. If you can't go like full jump because of where you live or some contraindication with your body, we're just lifting the heels up and letting them slam down onto the ground to create a reverberation in the body. Really no wrong answers here. Like, it's like the more ridiculous you look, like probably the better of a job you're doing. So we're like literally just shaking off anything that showed up during that last pose that like doesn't serve you. Any self-talk that's like, I'm not gonna try this, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I suck, I keep failing. Like, if you tried, you didn't fail. Right? So just shake that off. Any of that. We're making funny shapes. It's not a big deal. Most things in life that we fuck up are really not a big deal, and you probably didn't fuck it up. And sometimes there are big things. There really are big things that really, really do matter. And we jack those up too. And like, just shake that off right now too. Like, to move on, to do better, we can't keep harping on the things that we fell short on or the things that we failed or the people we hurt. There are amends that need to be made. It's not going to happen in this moment. It's not going to happen in that last pose or the next pose. Right here, right now, just learning to let it go. All those toxic thoughts, toxic stuff that's like built up like gunk in your body. Sweating it out, stretching it out, shaking it out. We've got our breath of joy coming up here. It's our 4-part breath. 3 inhales, 3 parts inhale, 1 part, big explosive exhale. It looks like sip of air in, sip of air in, sip of air in. Ha! Big exhale out. In, in, in. Ha! In, in, in. Ha! Three more. Ha! Ha! Last one. Ha! Coming to stillness. Eyes can close. Hands can hang or come onto the belly or the heart. Just taking a moment here to notice what was created here. Whatever heat, whatever breath, whatever heartbeat. Gently blink your eyes open, take a step to the back of your mat. Inhale, arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend in the knees, deep, 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 so deep that you come to seated hug, the knees in, rolling onto the back. Giving yourself a little rock side to side. We'll release the feet down by the hips, hands down by the heels, maybe the fingertips graze the heels. And here we'll gently roll or press the hips up towards the sky. So it's a little tuck in the hips. So your lower back, you feel the lower back pressing into the ground, and then rolling up one vertebra at a time. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Triceps are pressing into the ground for even more resistance. So we want to take the weight out of the neck and into the elbows, to the arms, triceps. C2 Bandhasana bridge pose. Squeeze the glutes. Find even more lift. We're really opening the front thighs here today. Another deep breath in and out. Last effort here. Then untuck the shoulders, roll down one vertebra at a time, letting the hips touch down last. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And then drop the knees over to the right. Left arm opening up like the letter T for a reclining twist. The head can look over past the left fingertips. We're just breathing here. Whole body's just relaxed. No more effort. The shoulders pressing down towards the ground is really the only effort that's happening here. Otherwise, just letting gravity do its thing. It's okay if your knees don't touch. It's okay if your right knee's not touching the ground. No more forcing. No more efforting. Then head looks up through center. Knees come back up through center. Let the knees come over to the left. Left hand lands on top of the right knee. Right arm opens like the letter T. Palm face open to the sky. Head looks over towards the right hand. Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. Head comes back up through center. Knees come up through center. Give them a last squeeze in and notice, is there any last movement or pose or stretch, wiggle that your body's asking for? And take the next couple moments to roll through that. Doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name. Whatever is going to prepare you for your Shavasana, whatever is going to make you feel like you had a well-rounded practice. If there's any body parts that called out for your attention in the beginning in our first grounding meditation that you didn't have a chance to work into, now is the time. As we set up for our Shavasana, our final relaxation pose, I'm going to come up to seated so I can speak to you and play some Tibetan singing bowls for you, but you just stay reclining or make your way to reclining. Any sweater that you'd like to put on or blanket, socks. I always put socks on for Shavasana. Your body temperature will lower during this part of class. So it can be nice to bundle up a bit. As you make your way from those last couple movements, making your way into your Shavasana, final relaxation pose. It's reclining flat on your back or with a pillow or a rolled towel blanket underneath the knees to alleviate any lower back pain. Feet land at least a foot apart from one another. Legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. Shoulders are tucked under the back to give support. Palms or hands land 6 inches from the body at least. Palms face open to the sky, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, give a soft gaze towards the ceiling Not looking at anything in particular, no death glares at the ceiling. No, just nice and soft. We'll start this meditation how we did the last, with 3 deep cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Audible sigh on that exhale, like let your breath be heard. And let the breathing continue just in and out through the nose if that's available for you. Let your exhalations become longer and deeper than your inhalations. You might give a little swallow to release any tension in the throat. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth, a symbol of Vritta Chitti, monkey mind. The muscles around the eyes and nose release. The eyes rest heavy in their sockets. The eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles of the forehead relax. And all the muscles surrounding the ears release. And all the muscles around the head. And going down towards the neck and throat, relax. And shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists release. And the palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, fingernail beds, whole hands alive with vibration, alive with creative potential, rest, and integrate all the effort. Upper back, middle and lower back, relax. And sink heavier into the ground below you. Chest naturally rising and falling without effort. Sending lifeblood throughout the body without effort. Like the tides of the ocean. Belly naturally rising and falling with the breath. Hips, glutes, pelvis rest heavy. Upper legs and knees relax. Lower legs and ankles release. The heels, arches, tops of the feet, toe ball mounds, and all of the toes relax, release. Whole body resting. Whole body resting. Whole body resting. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the good news. Gently invite your inhalations to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. And that feeling of heaviness and sinking to the back body is replaced with the feeling of openness and lightness and expansion towards the front side body, towards the surface. Invite movement gently back into the body, beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Head gently rocks side to side. And arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Bend the knees and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position, fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed, using as little effort as possible, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center in Anjali Mudra prayer pose. Today we worked on opening the front side body, specifically stretching out the quads, the front side hips, and working on quite a bit of balancing poses, balancing and twisting. So good job challenging yourselves today. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to one another. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me in class today. I hope that you found something that serves you. How's everyone feeling? Can't believe it's already January 7th. Namaste. Thank you for another rejuvenating session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining.